Hey folks, Henrik here, just enjoying a lovely Monday afternoon, late August, and it is, well, just might be one of the last really fine days of the summertime. That's kind of unfortunate, but that's the way it is, especially here. And, the autumn season ahead is probably going to be pretty lovely, and I look forward to that. And there are even some things about winter that I look forward to, but it's always nice if summer lasts as long as possible, and you can get as much sunshine as you can in your skin. Us white-skinned Finns, we need a lot of that vitamin D. And so anyway, the whole point of me doing this video here, before I drone on for too long, I'd like to give an introduction to this week's blog post, which is about Sisu. And being out here in nature, that's how I tend to practice my Sisu. So I'm not here to talk about what Sisu is. We've gone over that. I've gotten your opinions on it before, and I've given my opinions on what Sisu is, how you might be able to define it, and how important it is to us. We all know that. I want to talk a little about how I practice it in my life, and 3 simple words that, for me, define well how Sisu has been practiced since the beginning by the Finns, and how I practice it right now. And these 3 words came to me last week while I was going through a particularly difficult period. We have all kinds of stress in this modern society to deal with. We have to deal with financial issues, obviously. We have lots of technological expectations. We have to learn new technologies. We have new demands put on us constantly by new systems, and there are more people, as the song goes, too many people causing too many problems in this world, and not enough love to go around? I don't remember exactly what how it goes, but you get the gist of it. And so we really need to get away from it all sometimes, and being forest dwellers, I think it's within our DNA here to seek out the forests, seek out the lakes, and just try and get some solitude and do what I like to call regroup, simplify, and deploy. And the regroup part is just distance yourself from everything. When you feel like you can't take anymore, and preferably even before that, you should be distancing yourself from it and just figuring out how you can reapproach the problem. And often that means simplifying, because we take on too much, at least I do. I just think even when I get the smallest burst of energy that I can suddenly take on the whole world, and I'm realizing as I get older that that's not really as true as I thought it was. So we simplify, and that's something that Finns have been doing. We've been forced to do, actually, since the Russians and all these larger kingdoms around the Finns, they were forcing us to make do with less and less. Even with my grandparents, the secret police in Russia, they took away their horses and cows and all their they basically took away their livelihood and how they ate every day and everything, and they forced them to live on the collectives. They had no right to be doing this to people who had earned everything they had themselves, but that's what happened. And it's unfortunate, but it also taught the Finns to make do with less all the time, and it taught them to be clever in how they did things. And there are many other situations in Finnish history where we've had to do that, and nowadays we're in a time of such plenty that it might not occur to us as much that we have to simplify, because we're convinced, like everybody else, that we need more and more and more. And I'm sure a few of you out there have already figured out that that's not true, but especially for us younger folk, we're kind of brainwashed into this paradigm of technology, and we're constantly taught that technology is going to be our savior. And I would like to counter that personally. And I mean, I'm not saying, I'm not a total Luddite or whatever you want to call it. I believe that there are ways that technology is an advantage for us, and it does help our lives, but we need a balanced perspective. And so it pays to get away from all that once in a while and try to think of things in a different way. Try to come up with solutions that don't depend on technology, that don't depend on having more and more and more. And we need to question our own concepts and values of what brings us security and peace. As I mentioned in this upcoming article, sometimes I relied on too many things, and so for me it's all about paring down. And I think that once you find, whatever problem that you're going through, find a way to pare things down to the very simplest approach, and then you can feel hope that you can at least accomplish that one thing, and that will give you something to work with going forward, So that's a bit of an introduction to the blog post, and I hope you enjoy it. I think I need to get out of here and walk a little bit before the rain comes and pours on top of me. But you can see that we're in the tail end of August. We're going to show you this. You can see the lingonberries are growing. And that's the Swedish gold rush. Yesterday we were out picking blueberries and getting lots of nutrition. And that's one of the lovely things about summer and the early autumn. You can already see the colors on the trees are turning a little bit. Beginning to turn. Most of the birch are still intact for the most part. But it's definitely, the transition has definitely begun. Now you can hear probably it's getting a little bit windier, so it's going to get tougher and tougher to finish this video. Look at those awesome clouds up there. Hopefully I'll be able to do more of these videos in the future, these introductions, and also talk about some other things related to Finnish culture. And I'm doing a series with my buddies who are kind of into this whole bushcraft thing. They love Ray Mears and all these dudes. And recently I was learning about Johan Venninen. And so many awesome people in general, not just Finns, spend their time out in nature, and they really know how to improvise, and I think that's something that we could all learn from. Anyway, I'm about done here. I'm heading on back. So have a good day, everybody.